Salute to everybody. Much love and respect. We are back for Soulful Saturdays, the resurrection of the light body. The earth is not a prison. Salutes to everybody. Make sure y'all hit that like button for us, family. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. If you can, like and share the video, please. Like and share the video, please. Salutes to everybody. Much love and respect. I'm sharing the stream, and we really gonna jump right into it today, folks. Salutes to y'all. I appreciate everyone who can support the stream. Supporting the stream is liking the stream, sharing the stream, donating anything that you could do to support the stream would be greatly appreciated today. So we want to jump right into it. Uh, the age of Aquarius is bringing forth the resurrection of the light body. There is a 12 chakra system. Now, I know we're all familiar with the 7 chakra system, which is located inside of the body. But the light body and the physical body has a 12 chakra system. And we want to break that down today. You guys, salutes to everybody. The age of Aquarius is bringing forth the resurrection of the light body. And you may say, Key, what is the light body? The light body would be your Christ consciousness. This is how you can identify your higher self. The resurrection of this light body. A lot of people feel like they're trapped inside the earth. When they teach you the 7 chakra system, the 7 chakra system resides inside of the body. There's no way for you to connect with your higher self if you don't know the 12 chakra system. We got feelings, visions, emotions, ethereal bodies, astral bodies. These are all bringing us forth to a connection of the higher self. You're really trapped inside of your body. You can't be trapped inside of the earth. To think earth is a trap, then you haven't traveled the whole earth is ludicrous. And I ain't talking about the rapper, folks. I mean, that's insane. That's crazy to think that you're trapped inside of the earth and you've never even traveled the whole earth. How can you be trapped inside of a earth that you haven't fully traveled yet? The light body will allow you to travel the cosmos. The light body would allow you to travel the cosmos and bring you to your connection of the ether. There are 5 other chakra connection points that we want to talk about here today. Shout out to everybody, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. We're going to jump right into it today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get to these 12 chakras. Salutes to my brother T. Wriggles for joining. I'm going to stop and I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right to it. Salute. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I'm going to bring up these 12 chakras. 12 chakras, right? So we're going to jump right into it. Now, this is our 12 chakra system chart. And these last chakras, the 8th chakra, isn't something new. This was there before your physical body was. These outer bodies are the start and not the finish. Okay. So we want to start from the bottom with the chakras that we know. We have our root chakra. We have our sacral chakra. We have our solar plexus chakra. We have our heart chakra. We have our throat chakra. We have our third eye chakra. We have our crown chakra. Now, after your crown chakra comes your soul star chakra. Now this soul star chakra connects you to your higher self. Okay. Then you got your spirit star chakra. And your spirit star chakra connects you to your spiritual wisdom. Now, this is where you will start to connect to your Akashic records. You will be able to start to remember. Okay. Then you have your universal chakra. This is pure consciousness. Okay. You got your galactic chakra. This is your divine knowledge. Now, this one you will be all the way tapped into your Akashic records, past lives, and things of that nature. Now, the top one is your divine gateway chakra, universal consciousness. Now, this divine gateway chakra is the point to where your light begins to pour into this reality, and it extends your body's capacity. It also happens on a different layer under the ground. So we can even go with more chakras to go to the Earth star. Okay. And we'll get to that later. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So let's start here first. And please like, share, and subscribe, support the channel. Salutes. Salutes my sister Raven. Salute my brother T Wriggles. You can give us a mic check if you want. And I will continue. Okay. So the 12 chakra system expands on the well-known 7 chakras. And I want to say this, the age of Aquarius is bringing forth the resurrection of the light body. The veil is lifting. The veil is lifting. They trapped us inside the body so that they can control the mind. And that's why a lot of people may feel like Earth is a prison. Earth is not a prison, because if you were aware of your other chakras, if you were aware of your light body, then you would never feel that this Earth was a prison, because you would have an understanding of you traveling the cosmos. The 12 chakra system expands on the well-known 7 chakras by incorporating 5 additional energy centers, extending both below the body and above the head. These higher chakras are thought to connect us to higher dimensions and greater levels of consciousness. And here's a breakdown they give us. And we really don't need to go. We can go over these chakras again for those who may not know. We want to each one teach one. We teach one, we'll reach one, and we'll be in a better position. We'll all be one. So we're going to go back over this for those who don't know, okay? Everybody don't wake up at the same time every day, but we still going to make sure everybody wake up well, okay? So the 7 main chakras. Number 1, the root chakra, located at the base of the spine, associated with grounding, security, and survival. The sacral chakra, situated in the lower abdomen, linked to creativity, sexuality, and emotions. The solar plexus chakra, found in the upper abdomen, associated with personal power, confidence, and self-esteem. The heart chakra, located in the center of the chest, linked to love, compassion, and connection. The throat chakra, situated in the throat, associated with communication, self-expression, and truth. The third eye chakra, found between the eyebrows, linked to intuition, insight, and psychic abilities. The crown chakra, located at the top of the head, associated with spirituality, enlightenment, and connection to the divine. Okay, now the additional 5 chakras. The earth star chakra, located about a foot below the feet. It connects us to the earth's energy and provides grounding. This is your earth star chakra. And your soul star chakra, situated above the crown chakra. It connects us to our soul's purpose and higher self. Universal chakra, located above the soul chakra. It connects us to universal consciousness and cosmic energy. Galactic chakra, located even higher than the universal chakra. It connects us to the energy of the galaxy and galactic consciousness. The divine gateway chakra, the highest chakra located above the galactic chakra. It represents a doorway to the divine and higher realms. And like I said, this is where your light begins to pour into this reality. We can even go into the 13 chakra system while we here. I got your message, Brother T. Wriggles. Now, most energies can agree on 7 chakras, but have you heard of the ascended and expanded 13 chakra system? Now, I went with the 12 chakra system because it was seemed a little bit more basic. This is going to get like a little bit more advanced. I want to let you guys know that before we start reading. So if you're trying to know and understand, then I'm just letting you know that, okay? Now, most people, as they continue their spiritual journey, begin to tap into some of the expanded chakra aspects to more firmly ground them in these ascended aspects to prepare them for more fully for their spiritual journey. Number one, your earth star chakra, the location below the feet in the earth. The purpose connects us to Gaia. Gaia is Mother Earth, helps us to understand our spiritual mission and purpose. Two, root chakra is at the base of the spine, grounding, survival instinct, stability. We don't want to learn more about that. And so we just went over these chakra systems. Now, the stellar gateway, soul star, stellar gateway, the casual chakra. Now, this is a casual chakra, crown chakra, casual chakra. Okay, this was the next one. The casual chakra. This was the 13th one that I wanted to get to, guys. This location is at the back of the head, slightly above the crown, connects us to the divine feminine, higher intuition, and connects us to the world of spirit. When we think about masculine and feminine, we oftentimes think about men and women. Some biblical stories could have us thinking about good and bad, but we're actually just talking masculine and feminine. Now, your light body, which would be your intuition, your feelings, your dreams, and things of that nature, that would be your feminine. That's what the age of Aquarius is all about, the restoring of balance, the resurrection of the light body, the return of the divine feminine to take her seat. A lot of people are getting this confused with thinking that maybe they were born inside of the wrong body. No, the right light is returning to you. The light that you're missing, there's a restore of balance upon the face of the earth. It's happening in the age of Aquarius. This is why they knew when the age of awakening would be. We've been living in a patriarchy system for so long now, and it's been 1,000 years. These biblical stories have been revised. In the Bible, when it told you that Satan shall rule for 1,000 years, this patriarchy system, a system of unbalance, has been ruling for 1,000 years. They threw an extra 1,000 years on there to throw you off from recognizing that it was only 1,000 years. And now there's a restore of balance happening, my people. Chill Will salutes. Salutes to everybody. Much love and respect. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. I will be dropping a link and I will be unmuting my brother T. Wriggles right now. I did not know that it had you muted, my brother. So let me unmute you real quick.
Salutes, brother. Salutes, brother.
Salute, salute.
Great breakdown. Great breakdown so far. Yeah, continue.
Oh yeah, because we are unaware of our light bodies, man, and they want to keep us unaware of our light bodies so that they can be in control of our feelings and our emotions by projecting things upon us, by projecting visions, feelings, and visions into our subconscious. When things are projected onto our subconscious, it makes an imprint. So when we're imprinted with a feeling or a vision, we reproduce that copy. That's why I was telling people that the subconscious is the divine feminine of the mind. Your conscious is your masculine aspect of the mind. So when they ask you to think outside the box, it's like the male leaving the home. It's the same concept on the physical plane as it is on the metaphysical plane. They get the male out of the house so they can impress the woman, imprint on the woman, on the feminine. So this is what's happening. And this is why the veil is lifting, because there is a resurrection of the light body taking place right now. This is the return of the Christos. This is your holy oil, your light. We can do these things on a physical level. We can put oil on our head on a physical level. We can pray to Christ and we can want Christ to return. But the Bible has already stated when Christ returns, they will be making their heaven on earth. So no one is going to heaven. So we have to be aware and we have to overstand to understand so that we can follow these practices that we should be practicing with good purpose, good intention, and true knowledge of the situations, rather than being misled and driven by parasites, by vampires, by those who come to steal the souls, the so-called steal the souls. No one can steal a soul. No one can sell a soul because the soul only belongs to the divine creator. You can't even sell your soul. You're being tricked. No one can possess the soul except for the divine creator. But they can use your body. They can project their light into your body. Those old souls. And we also have those on this walking this earth right now who do not have a soul. They found a way to filter or put a veil over the light body. This is why there's a return of consciousness, a shift of consciousness happening on the earth. The earth is expanding. There's no longer uh, dominion for the light body to be bound. So that's why there's a shift of consciousness right now, and that's why there's the resurrection of the light body. And I know that a lot of people teach that the earth is a prison. We're trapped here on earth. People, they only feel trapped because you feel trapped in your body. Like I said earlier, how could you be trapped on the earth if you haven't even traveled the whole earth? You've yet to even see the whole earth. You've yet to even leave this country, most people. You've yet to even leave your state, a lot of people. So how can we then say that we trapped on the earth that we don't even have full range of dominion to go to and fro on? You see what I'm saying? And I don't know if you got any questions or anything you want to add, Brother T. Wriggles, but I'm gonna actually let me see, let me put this cover up. I'll put this cover up and I am gonna drop the link. I don't know how much you heard so far, but if you got any questions, feel free. Or interjections. Okay, and let me take this mute off. I don't know why there's a mute on, but let me go ahead and okay, how about now?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
yeah, this is the like the title, resurrection of the light body, and awakening the divine feminine, you know, and to build exactly and to give you confirmation on what you're saying is that there's an ancient prophecy that said the awakening will come through that divine feminine. Your intuition will heighten, your dreams will heighten. Everything is, and this awakening is going to happen within. And so what you're touching on is right in alignment of things. Yeah, that's good job right there.
Yeah, yeah, because they were able to predict this time, and when we're talking about the return of Christ, Christ's body, Christ's mind, the anointed one. You
Mm,
know, the return of the oil in the lamp. You know, the lamp is empty during the point of the veil. You know, being the covering. You know, there's a return of the oil to the lamp.
mm,
That's why they call the star seeds coming back and everything, because that projection point of light from that higher chakra point. But see, I did want to, like we spoke about earlier. You know, if we can start to shift our consciousness towards those points, and if we can go back and take those chakras and note them, then we'll be able to do like exercises and become more familiar with our ethereal bodies, our astral bodies, you know, where our feelings and emotions lie, our heart, get in touch with our higher self, and just know that this what they meant back in the ancient days with our ancestors about people having auras, when you can see auras and things of that nature.
mm. And I would say, Key, that the awakening, I would say, is on both sides of the spectrum. It's physical and spiritual, right? Either or. And I would say the physical side, right, would be people finding out the truth about things, what they lied about. And then to me, this spiritual side, right, is is activating, and going through the light body training, because when you're activating your light body, there's certain steps one has to take, because you're going to be the veil is lifting, so you're going to be exposed to more spectrum of light. Does that kind of make sense, what I'm saying? Because when you expose yourself, you know let's just take, lucid dreamers. You feel me? That now you're going to be leveling up slowly but surely, because you're going to see things that people will probably look at you like, how did you know that? Then you're going to say, well, I saw it already. So just like your deja vu, it's like I saw it already. You feel me?
Facts, facts. But with the Earth expanding, there are dimensions being uncovered.
Mm, mm,
There's an expanding, so there are more spectacles of light that are available. That's why if a lot of people don't realize, not long ago they pronounced that it was a new color. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I knew what they meant when they said that. It was a new
mm,
perception point for a new spectrum of light. We're in an expanding universe. Like I like to say, the universe. Mama Gaia, Mother Earth. I call her Mama Gaia.
mm.
She's reaching her full term. I like to make a connection with this with the um bandwidths, you know, the Ethernet. This is my connection with the ether and the internet. So the ether is there's an expansion happening. And this is why they're able to do different bandwidths. Is in the name, bandwidths. So if they can only get a certain width because there's only a certain width allowed at that time until the next expansion happens. They talk about breaking the bands and the scrolls and the Bible and stuff, correct? So this is what's happening. And we got to understand that that rainbow was desecrated. It was desecrated by the LGBT community and their agenda to desecrate the divine feminine, the return of the divine feminine. This is important to note. And it's not muting you again. Is that correct?
Say that one more time.
I was just making sure that it wasn't muting you again. So I'm gonna go to our next. And oh yeah, feel free to interject while I'm pulling this up if you want to.
Yeah, there's a, this has been happening for a long time. The desecration of the divine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
When you just look at some of the stories in the Bible, it seems like every woman has been desecrated. Being called a ratchet. You know, going against the grain of things. And so for me, that was growing up. Like I've noticed, like, yeah, why did the establishment, you know, put the woman down and all of that, the sacred feminine? Why did they get rid of that? Well, it was mandatory. It was mandatory for them to get rid of that because they couldn't control you
Right.
if if they didn't get rid of that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you're on point because they had to offset the woman to give her a masculine mind frame. The feminine mind frame will have us so aware. You know how women get feelings and dreams? A lot of them wasn't able to be shifted. A lot of them had a divine covering over them that wouldn't allow them to be shifted. So they were still able to withhold their insight due to this attack on the divine feminine. They needed to offset the woman to be able to enslave us because you won't turn into a superhero. A lot of people think we just gonna start flying, and no, we'll have divine intuition, intelligence, knowledge, know it all, God like knowing. So that was the whole thing with them making that shift from the divine feminine to masculinity.
Yeah, this is in like those Middle Ages. This is what the burning at the stake and off with your head was all about. They had to get rid of that mindset. That the ancient wisdom, the ancient cultures, the ancient ways. They had to get rid of that. And then so like you said, we're in the age of Aquarius, so we're coming to a time where people's light is starting to ignite. It's getting brighter and brighter. A lot of you're using more intuition. With the everyone's saying, okay, what's the vibe? You know what I'm saying? What's this vibe like? Right? So you're activating slowly but surely because you just can't pop into this, and just go to the top spot. Oh, you know what I mean? No, you got to do it gradually, or you'll have a system overload. You know, and then as a person increases and their light starts to get brighter and brighter and brighter, as they say, new levels, new devils.
Ah man, that's correct. I'm with you on that. Shout out to my brother Bruns. I'm with you on that. I do wanna, if we have some who are not um familiar, with the light body, I want to give a breakdown. A lot of people like Google. I just like using Google for confirmation on what I'm saying. So I'm gonna read this. In various spiritual and esoteric traditions, a light body refers to a subtle, non-physical aspect of the human being, often associated with higher consciousness and spiritual evolution. It is not a literal physical body, but rather a representation of one's energetic or spiritual essence. The subtle body, in some traditions, the light body is synonymous with the subtle body, which is considered to be a non-physical energy field surrounding and permeating the physical body. The aura or energy field is often seen as a component of the light body, but the light body is more encompassing, including the cellular structure, molecules, atoms, and even the genetic code. Now, your Merkaba. Some traditions, particularly in Western esoteric thought, refer to the light body as the Merkaba or chariot of light, which is a vehicle for accessing higher planes in existence. Just like I was saying earlier, that's why people feel trapped, saying that the earth is a trap, the earth is a prison, because they have yet to access their Merkaba. They have yet to get their wheel to turning so that they can travel the cosmos. The rainbow body. In Tibetan Buddhism, the rainbow body is a concept similar to the light body, representing a state of spiritual mastery where the physical body transforms into light. And remember that light colors whole energy. Activation. Light body activation refers to practices and processes aimed at purifying, elevating, and aligning the individual's energy field with universal energy, often involving techniques like meditation, breath work, and sacred rituals. Now you can focus on these higher chakra levels and begin to pierce those points so that you can start to become more conscious of them. You can also do breathing techniques like breathe in good, breathe out bad. You can also do the light scan that I told you guys about on the last stream. Start at the feet. Uh, you know, think about your feet, the light at your feet, and just scan that light all the way to your head. You can lay on your back with your palms up or down, and you'll be able to do this. And these are good practices and techniques to do during meditation. Spiritual awakening, light body activation is often associated with spiritual awakening, deepening one's connection to higher consciousness and expanding awareness. Personal transformation, it can be a tool for personal growth, helping individuals overcome energetic blockages, release emotional trauma, and align with their soul's purpose. This is very important because we cannot hold on to those dim ones, those demons that we may hold in our consciousness. We may hold in our ethereal bodies. You want to get rid of that. Past childhood traumas and things of that nature. Once we know better, we can do better. But we also want to get the trash out of the closet. The house may be clean, but if you got all them trash bags in the closet, the house still gonna smell. Okay. Healing. Light body activation is believed to be beneficial for addressing physical discomfort, anxiety, depression, and other conditions related to energetic imbalances. That is true. Um, a lot of people are suffering from anxiety and depression, which does cause physical discomfort. So we want to be sure that we hone in on these practices and techniques while doing meditation. The cosmic connection. Practices like meditation and breath work, when aligned with the light body, can facilitate a deeper connection with cosmic energies and universal consciousness. Embodiment of higher qualities. The ultimate goal of light body activation is to help individuals embody higher spiritual qualities such as compassion, wisdom, and love. This is why it's hard to find this in the world today, because we're focused so much on the physical body. We're focused so much on patriotic views. We're focused on survival. We're focused on lust and self-identification. When we should restore the balance with the divine feminine. In summary, light body is a concept central to various spiritual and esoteric traditions, representing a subtle, energetic aspect of human being associated with higher consciousness and spiritual evolution. It is activated through practices that purify, elevate, and align the individual's energy field, leading to spiritual awakening, personal transformation, and a deeper connection with the universe.
Mm. You know, some people have an issue with the light body, right? The light body is the thing that powers you. That's your consciousness per se, right? And
Right.
so to give proof of your light body, right? Which is linked to your chakras and all of that. And I just give two examples, especially down with the root, right? We will always say, yeah, it's got a mind of its own, right? The other example I would say to your light body, right, your energetic field, if you ever been heartbroken, what I mean, your girl left you after 5 years per se, or she cheated on you, right? That hurts. If you went to the doctor, the doctor would check you out and say, no, nothing's wrong with your heart. So what's bothering you? Why is your heart broken? That's your energetic field being disturbed. And then the way how you heal that is what you just explained to us right now. We got to deal with that meditation, with the breathing techniques, as you said, walking around in nature, doing your good deeds. This will heal your heart energetic field per se. So you on point.
Oh yeah, because like I was saying, we can't carry there's only room for so much in the consciousness, even though uh you know there is an unlimited amount of space in the cosmos, there's only so much consciousness space for us to carry. So if we keep the bad things with us, it's like if I keep some bad water, contaminated water in my cup, and then I just a little bit of it, and then I fill it up with good water, the whole cup is corrupted. The whole cup is contaminated just from the little bit of bad water that's in it. You know, it's like to where I like to refer over to this. What we're talking about is, don't cry over a cup of spilled milk. Just clean it up and make another glass. And I hate to use that milk reference either ways because milk ain't good for you. I want to let y'all know that while I'm using that for
Mm,
an example, milk is not good.
mm, facts.
Oh yeah, and the resurrection of the light body. We gotta recognize what this is. See, the powers that be are gonna give this to you in a technical form. So why not overstand this naturally? The things that they're doing with AI, the things that they're doing with these brain converters, these headsets, people gonna be buying into these things because they want to achieve immortality. They're gonna want to buy into these things because they want to cure certain things within themselves. But you can do this naturally with the gifts from the divine. but
Mm-hmm.
it takes work. You can't just pay for it. But you don't want to get an artificial version or an organic version. You want an organ version, not an organic version. You want an organ version
Mm.
of these gifts and practices.
Mm. And
Hmm.
it seems like when you practice, when you have these spiritual practices and spiritual awarenesses, you know what I mean, to oneself, like that's you're honoring the ancestors before you, and then the ancestors now will able to assist you in your spiritual ascension, because there ain't nothing like getting the green light from the ancestors. Real talk. That's I during my spiritual walk, that's one thing I want to accomplish. I want to accomplish that the ancestors said to me, basically, man, you're doing a great job, and we're proud of you. And that's, to honor, in our time, honor the Dr. Sabies, the Dr. Blairs, the Dick Gregory's, you know what I'm saying, Malcolm, King, just a few names that are in our era. I want them to be extremely proud of me and the spiritual walk. You feel me? So, yeah, this is a
Oh,
fire
yeah.
top.
Yeah, that's a fact because, like I always say, in order to connect with the ancestors, one must become the ancestors.
Mm,
You must become the ancestors to bridge that gap. It's like we're like a ripple effect. They're the inner ripple, and we're the outside extension. But it's still the same ripple. It's still the same wave. So in order to connect with the ancestors, one must become the ancestors.
yeah.
And once you become the ancestors, you're gonna have that insight.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Oh yeah, we can recognize that all is one and one is all. And once we connect with the ancestors, then our akashic records inside of our genetic codes will start to become uh visible.
Mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a lot of people, I thought, during the walk, probably let's say 20 years ago, I've always wondered, what is this Akashic records that everyone talks about? What is that? Do you know what I mean? I've always, how, and I was always like, how do I access that? And so science, which I really don't like going by, but they do mention that the human body has the so-called junk DNA. And far as I'm concerned, the divine creator never makes junk. So to me, that is where your Akashic records lie at, within. Just as you experience a deja vu in your dream state, you can access your Akashic records the same way, or through meditation, and then you will be shown. It's one of the most amazing experiences, Key, I've ever had, to actually tap in. And this is why to tap in with yourself, and this is why the question about reincarnation, right, is a question that some don't know. But the ancestors knew this, though. This wasn't even a debate. They would all say reincarnation. Yes, yes, I've been here before. But how do you know? Because I've seen it. I tapped in. And so the same thing here. With us now, the more that we tap in, the more light codes, light information that you will receive, and then you could relay over to all of us.
Oh yeah, it's a part of the seeing process, you know, to be able to see and be able to relay the messages to the rest of the world or the rest of the family,
Mm,
you know, because there are things that are uh trying to be passed down from the other side, but you know, we have to be those open vessels to be able to receive. The brain receives, you know, the mind finds and the brain receives. So, you know, and we wouldn't just merely you know, created to just experience the physical. We were designed to experience beyond the physical,
hmm
beyond the veil. The
hmm
trap, the body trap, is what has the veil blocking our light bodies for us to be able to see with our light bodies.
mm, mm. Facts. And that's those blockages, I would say, is due to the system and the establishment we're in. I mean, it covers all them areas to block everyone from the TV, from the food, air, water, you know what I mean? Even ground, to make sure that they keep you in that box.
Facts. That's a fact. And you know, we spoke about the Akashic records. Akashic records are essential concept in theosophy, in anthroposophy, and described as a universal compendium of all events, thoughts, words, emotions, and intentions that have ever occurred or will occur, encompassing all entities and life forms, past, present, and future. They are believed to be encoded in a non physical plane of existence known as the mental plane. The term Akashic originates from the Sanskrit word Akasha, meaning ether, sky, or atmosphere. This is why I'm telling you guys about the ether, and the ethernet is the internet.
Mm,
All is It was already written. There's nothing happening by chance. There's things happening by choice, not by chance. And if you pick the wrong choice, then you have to return and make the right choice.
mm, mm.
That's where reincarnation comes in.
Facts.
Uh, while the concept of cosmic archive or record exists in various ancient traditions, including Hindu philosophy and ancient Egyptian and Greek traditions, the specific term Akashic records and its modern understanding were introduced to Western audiences by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky and the Theosophical Society in the late 19th century. Blavatsky claimed to have learned about them from Tibetan monks and incorporated this knowledge into theosophical teachings. Later, American clairvoyant Edgar Cayce further popularized the concept in the 20th century by claiming to access the Akashic records during trance-like states for his psychic readings. And you know, this is where channeling comes in.
Mm.
You can channel and receive messages to the brain because that's what the brain do receive or
Yeah,
remember or receive.
yeah, because Edgar Casey, world renowned medium, who was, you can say, on the mainstream of things, like our Nostradamus for today. And with a lot of mediums and psychics and the ones that possess the gift, a lot of them, I would say that, don't want to come out and play, just due to the ridicule that they will receive from us. You feel what I'm saying? To make a person feel, you can't do that. That's impossible, type of thing. You're crazy. So we have to be extremely mindful, especially for the youth that's coming up, who has been hardwired, for this task we're talking about here, of having tapped into their akashic records. So we have to be more mindful, and have a little bit more sensitivity to this topic we're talking about here, because you got to remember, the Vatican, uh, European European secret societies made sure, and they doubled down, that you and I, Key, and the rest, and everyone's listening, not to even know anything about this.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. Because they want to control us with media. Media
Yeah.
is a short term medium. So they're creating a medium to control us with. This is how we become stick men, or they make voodoo dolls out of us with the media.
Mm,
Shout out to my brother Awakening Minds. Shout out to my brother Bronze. Shout out to my sister Raven. Shout out to Chill Will Salute. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. Um, you know, this is how they make puppets out of the people, and they're controlling us by pressing buttons. They're pressing buttons and they're making us react off of emotions. They're controlling our ethereal bodies. They're controlling us through our dreams, our astral bodies. Freddy Krueger was real, but it
mm.
was given in the concept, not a physical monster running around. But we do have people tapping into our dreams, and they're controlling us with this. My brother Wisdom Thought, salute. I don't know why y'all are not modded up. So let me make y'all mods. Shout out to everybody. Much love and respect. So yeah, this is very important points that we touching on. Now we touched on the Akashic records.
Mm.
I'm gonna go back and I want to pull up the ethereal body just so we can the etheric body. Now the etheric body, also known as the ether body or vital body. Now this body is connected to the ether. Ether. This is a thing that will make us compatible with the divine creator and nature, us having knowledge and being aware of our etheric bodies. This is our connection. This is where a lot of people say, well, where did telepathy go? Uh, and this is where those qualities of those gifts are stored. It's a subtle energy body proposed in esoteric and occult philosophies. It is considered the first or lowest layer of the human energy field or aura. Is believed to be in direct contact with the physical body, sustaining it and connecting it to higher subtle bodies. The etheric body is often described as an exact replica of the physical body, acting as a blueprint or template for physical form. The energy field, the etheric body is part of the human energy field, a complex system of subtle energies that surrounds and permeates the physical body. Your life force is often described as the body of life force, prana, or chi, which animates and provides energy to the physical body. And this is energy comes from the source energy, the source energy, like the short that I put out. That God, that the divine is this source energy. We have a cup of that energy. We like cups, so we'll be a cup of what came out of the sea, the ocean, the divine creator. Okay. Energy, pure energy.
Mm.
Uh Connection to the physical body. It's said to be an immediate contact with the physical body, acting as a bridge between the physical and energetic realms. Vitality and health. The etheric body is believed to be responsible for the vitality and health of the physical body. All is mind. So we can heal ourselves. See, this is another reason for the powers that be to set in the control that they have, because we would no longer need hospitals. They're trying to heal you from the outside from something that's taking place on the inside. Okay. The chakra connection is often linked to the root chakra, which is associated with grounding and stability. Energy flows through the etheric body via meridians. We have these nadis or meridians, similar to the way blood vessels function in the physical body. So there are plasma vessels in the ether, which connects to your ether body, which will flow plasma, which once again is liquid light or liquid gold to make your etheric body function well. Healing and rejuvenation. The etheric body is believed to be involved in healing processes, which flaws or blockages in the etheric body potentially affecting physical health. Yes, that's why stress can kill you. Like T. Ruse was speaking about earlier. That's why when you have a broken heart, you feel that pain. Or you can have lust or what you think is love, which will be lust for a person, and it'll make you get horny. You understand what I'm saying? There's a physical, what the cause is non-physical, and the effect is physical. Uh, the etheric body is thought to be a bridge to higher subtle bodies, including the astral body, your emotions and feelings, and your mental body is your thoughts and intellect. So we got the etheric body, the astral body, the mental body, the physical body. You got your higher self. There's different bodies that we need to be aware of that's beyond the physical body, so that we may be able to connect to the ether properly, so that we may be able to receive messages or or be able to block interference. Also,
Mm.
beyond the physical, while intertwined with the physical body, the etheric body is said to have its own unique structure and properties existing on a more subtle plane of existence. So the casual body, the celestial body, we got our etheric template, which encases the astral plane, our astral body. And then we have our physical plane, which connects our mental body, our emotional body, our etheric bodies, and our physical bodies.
Mm. And this is why too, it's it's good to travel to different land masses so you can acquire different energy grids. Because I just noticed. Well, I've noticed that they put us in these cities. You feel me? And in the states, and there's so much more landmass. That they make sure no, 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 stay away from there. Stay in the cities, so you won't be able to acquire, absorb certain energies that will activate your spiritual body. What's that? Your celestial body, your astral body. Let's just look at Malcolm. Malcolm X. He went somewhere, and then just being around in that different area, around different people, different energy, he comes back to the States with a whole complete different mindset, because he figured it out. So that would be my example of, if anyone's on your path, it's really good, to travel.
Facts, because what they're doing in these inner cities, they have energy grids set up, and
Mm,
these are artificial energy grids that is tapping into the ether. So that's what's causing blockages for our etheric bodies to connect to the ether.
mm,
We're underwater right now. Air and water is one and the same. One is just less dense than the other.
mm-hmm,
So to block the connection, they have all these They have all of these signals floating through the air, through the ether, radio signals, satellite signals, television signals, all types of signals that's throwing off our intuition and our etheric connection. So when you go somewhere where you don't have all those blockages and all of those signals, you become more intuitive. So you're able to connect to your higher self mostly. This is why they were getting the information from all the monks who would go up in the caves and block themselves off from these signals.
Mm.
Those signals can't go through those rocks and those caves. So they were just in there, the holies of holies, just going inside of themselves instead of going outside of themselves and picking up and receiving all these signals. The brain pick up on all these signals, and this stuff starts to be stored in the subconscious mind. So these images that are being stored, or these messages that are being stored inside the subconscious mind, are being produced. That's why we're on demon time. A lot of people on demon time right now. There's a lot of mishap happening in the world. This is from the indoctrination of how life's supposed to be in their eyes, in the eyes of his story.
Mm. But too, Key, that that they told us when we were children, that they're distorting the energy grid from the movie They Live. Because the tower that was pumping the signal in the cities, to distort your whole energy grid. It distorted your vision. You couldn't see everything. It distorted the sound. You know, you ever notice that when if you're chilling if you're chilling somewhere and you ain't saying nothing, right? You can hear the electricity hum. Like, to me, that's like a form of distortion, because I'm not in silence now. I can hear an electricity buzz going on. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the distortions everywhere. So yeah, you're on point with that.
Oh yeah, big facts. And shout out to my brother Wisdom Thought. Salute. You should be able to unmute. T. Riggles was having a problem earlier.
Nah, I was just lying, y'all. I ain't want to make no noise. Yo, peace, Key. Yo, peace, T.
Yeah, much love,
Salute.
man.
Yo, y'all was
Salute.
talking about the cities, right? So this made me
Mhm.
think about something. I live in the city. I'm from the city. I
Mm,
know people specifically who have never left their zip code, bro.
mm,
So think about what I'm about to tell you. When you got all these buildings, you got all this concrete, the concrete jungle.
mm,
Your eyes are only seeing buildings and skyscrapers. Your eyes are not used to seeing greenery and nature. So I know people right now, if you take them into nature, they're gonna bug out because they're not used to it.
mm.
Because your eyes, it's like for your hormones. Your eyes have to see the greenery, the blue. It's like something that does to your hormones when you seeing green. You get what I'm saying? When you seeing green,
Yeah.
blue, and you seeing different colors of nature. But yeah, I land right there though. But I just want y'all to think about that, because what you're saying with the artificial cities, you're right. Because look at the trees in the city compared to the trees in Atlanta or places like Atlanta. You get what I'm saying? With oak trees.
Mm.
Facts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, facts. We cooking right now, man, because they're taking us they're terraforming the earth. And once we see our eyes suck in, we don't see what's outside. What's outside of us is we seeing it from inside. Our eyes are black holes. It's sucking it in. So this is being projected inside of us, and it's being projected onto the mind. So these things that we're seeing that's outside of us, they're terraforming it so that they can terraform us to try to make us compatible. They tell us, this is the way of the world. Technology is taking us here when we're actually getting taken further away from ourselves. We were already made to be compatible with Earth, to be compatible with nature. This is the system that we're supposed to be running on. We would already have an internet or ethernet. We're already netted or connected to the ether.
But think about my bad. Okay.
No, no, go ahead. You got it.
But think about I get what you're saying, but think about what Bro Sanchez said on that last live. None of us was born in the original Earth, bro. And that kind of, I ain't gonna lie, that kind of hit me hard, bro. And he's right, bro. None of us are from the original Earth. Like, we mutated, bro. Like, we mutants, bro.
Facts. Facts. That's a big fact. And it's all just about kind of remembering from the Akashic records, because we got ancestral um, knowledge, should I say, or data that's inside of our DNA, our genetic codes. And this is how a lot of people were able to tap in to things that they haven't seen or been around at the time. It's in your essence. It's in who you are. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a fact though. None of us was born in a natural world. We're far from the natural world. But once again, we'll have to be relying on the body, putting more leverage on the body and not the mind, because the mind can expand backwards and forwards. We say time and space is one and the same, and we saying the past happening right now and the future happening right now. So if we were able to access our our mind to its fullest capability, then we're able to go when it was, and we're able to go to the future in the mind, just to break free from physicality.
Facts.
Yeah. And I would say this too. There are, natural places around the world that we can still go and harness natural, organic energies. You know, just as you said, wisdom. I know brothers in LA, man, and they don't even know that like the valley where I'm at is here. You know what I mean? Like they
Nah,
don't leave,
facts.
like they don't leave Watts. They stay in Gardena. Do you know what I'm saying? Compton. Like some of them don't even venture. Like they won't even pass Hollywood Boulevard, which is north to them, and that's as far as they'll go. And I think that's all by design. Because that signal, what I mean, is very powerful. Along with the schooling, and then you got the entertainment, to program people, stay in the cities. It's the perfect place. But I did notice one thing that, the ones that are born, like you said, wisdom, like the city's all somewhere, when you're, somewhere in your mind, right? Instinctively that, hey, I gotta get to the rural areas. Like I gotta get to nature. And the people that are in those rural areas, that's all they know. They want to come to the city.
Yo,
To
that's
see.
crazy. Yo, that's crazy, bro. I gotta cut in right there because that's exactly what I witnessed. Like literally, I witnessed that all the time. Like even as a kid, I traveled, so I understand that this isn't life. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
there's more than just the city. Just
Facts.
what you said. There's people that are so bored in these suburban areas where they just like, you know what? And sometimes I want to say they're bored because again, that's all they know, so they want to start over, and that's understandable. But again, there's just some people they just trapped in where they at. They don't
Yeah.
even want to go out. What's that? Plato's theory, the cave theory.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
nah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Q.
No, I was just gonna say y'all cooking because it's a lot of people in the city who in a rush to go be bored, and it's a lot of people in the country who in a rush to go get robbed, have a bunch of car wrecks. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's all of that boring. Once we get bored, we want to boat a ring, and that's when that backward spiral start happening. Once we get bored, we gotta be satisfied. You know what I mean? And then we gotta understand what the illusion is. See, all of these things inside the illusion, all these new technological advances and going towards what the people who are terraforming this earth need to survive. We're not the same species as those people.
Mm.
They need this shit. Why would they terraform the earth to make things worse for them? They're making it worse for us. So, they need batteries and acid and polluted water, polluted air and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's also helping their technology. We're gonna get to a point to where, like what I was saying earlier, when it comes with these helmets that Elon Musk got, we can learn these things naturally. But a lot of people are gonna buy into the technology and try to find a cheat code so they can just advance without having to actually do the work to get there.
That part, key, to actually do the work. You feel me? And I think that's an ancestral requirement. Do the work. Don't go for the easy way, the helmets. Nah, nah.
That's
It's
like
almost
cheating on
like
a. Nah, go ahead, bro.
it's almost like the ancestors said, "Oh, you cheated to get here." Nah, don't do that. You still want to be respected from that unseen world that is very that is watching and guiding everyone. They're involved here too. Whether people want to know it or not. People that have passed on. Look, everyone's still involved here. And they want to see us all shine now. You feel me? So, just out of respect, to them and to the whole system, you know, do the work.
Yeah, it's like just like taking a test and just cheating, but the moral is you ain't learn nothing.
You ain't learn nothing. You ain't climbed that mountain. That once you get to the top, man, the gratification you will receive. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the $1,000,000 to me. Achieving, mastering yourself. Can you master these emotions that you will have, where this energy will come through an emotion through your body, and now you don't react to it, you just experience it, and you're still able to remain calm? Can you master? Can you master your astral body, where you're in, you'll pass out, and then you'll have this lucid dream, and then you'll have the awareness that, hey man, I just passed out. Oh, so I'm here now. Oh, so now can you master that? And then the next step would be, could you master, you know, that macabre experience where now you're experiencing the cosmos in its entirety, gentlemen. That is a very scary kind of thing to experience, but it's worth it if you put in the work, and then you get anointed. You get anointed from the ancestors. The ancestors say, you're ready. All the ones that we can't see will say, he's ready. Bring him up. So
Right. Now you're on point because, and then shout out to my brother, the enemy's public, brother Nasir. Salute. Shout out to my brother Big Dog Philly OG. Salutes to everybody in the chat, man. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. They have us looking for something physical. Once again, they use the sleight of hand technique. They'll have us looking for something physical to happen, like the return of Christ, but they're hiding it behind the feminine. They show you Christ as being this feminine male-like figure, and they're not telling you that there's a restored balance happening. The divine feminine is coming to reclaim her seat, but there's not a masculine versus feminine. There's a beautiful dance that's supposed to be happening.
mm,
So this is the Christ born from his mother, but he was alive before his mother was alive, and all this is just hidden esoteric knowledge that
mhm,
there was a taking away of the divine feminine. There was a emplacement of the divine masculine. You see what I'm saying? So they got
yeah,
us looking for something physical to happen that's never gonna come, and then we gonna miss out on what's actually happening and what's actually coming. Once again, this is another another veiling technique used by the powers that be.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, Key, that you know everyone listening, please understand one thing, that someone knows exactly how all of these bodies, everything Keys mentioned, they know this. They know about your subconscious mind, which governs your conscious mind. So please understand that we have to be balanced here in order to win this battle as we move forward. And please don't get spooked or shocked at some of the youth or some of the adults that will come into their own, that have gone through their rites of passage, or someone, let's just speak hypothetically, but this can seriously happen, when we talk about having telepathy. Imagine someone having a conversation. A child is looking at you. The child's only like 8 years old, and you're looking at this 8-year-old child, and you're having a full blown conversation, and you haven't said one word. That's amazing, if you ask me. But this is what they're trying. This is what they're spending trillions of dollars to make sure that you aren't aware of all these capabilities that we have.
Man, bro, you about to make me damn. Nah, you cooking, bro. But oh man, because it's something I want to add. I don't know if y'all know about it. Damn, bro. Give me a minute. Yo, Key, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Let's bring it up. I want to know, man. And
All
they
right,
and
so matter of fact, here, go
I
ahead,
think
bro. Type in Stargate. Type in Stargate project and look what pop up, bro.
okay. Stargate project. I can already hold on.
On YouTube though. Oh wait, you can't do it because you want to panel.
Yeah, let me see.
Damn, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you could. Matter of fact, see what pop up on.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Nah, it's not even that, bro. It's
For
not that.
real?
Nah, it's not this. It's something else. You got to see it on YouTube.
Hmm. And what does it
What?
consist of? It says Stargate project, a bold attempt to accelerate the development of advanced AI by
Hold on.
building the necessary infrastructure. While it faces challenges and criticism, it represents a significant commitment to pushing the boundaries of AI technology.
Hold on. I gotta look it up. Hold on. Give me a few.
The Stargate project, a massive privately funded initiative to build out AI infrastructure in the United States, spearheaded by OpenAI and SoftBank, with significant participation from Oracle and others. It involves with just the word Oracle keep hitting like that. That's crazy.
Look, and it says the project aims to invest 500 billion over 4 years to build data centers and other necessary infrastructures to support open AI advancements. Look, look, with all of that said, I'm fully aware that, they know, that we're waking up to the truth about things in the physical realm, the things that we can all touch, right? And they're very aware of the non physical. And it's crazy when we speak about the non-physical, right? And I give an example of this, right? So the non-physical, right, would be your dreams, right? That would be non-physical. But when you're in the dream, it's physical. And I find that strange, you know what I mean? And how some of us don't want to acknowledge that, which is fine. You know, I don't mind it at all, but it's
Yeah, it's physical because you in your astral body while you dreaming. So I
right,
mean,
right,
your astral body, you in the astral world in your astral body. This is the physical world with the physical body. There's
right.
also an etheric plane, which our ethereal bodies reside in.
Mm,
So once
mm,
we can grasp the concept that there's different levels of consciousness and not we try to take it so far as different worlds, but it's worlds within this universe. It's just planes of existence, or aspects of reality where these different where your different bodies lie. So we're in a multiverse, but it's universe. The universe has multi verses in it.
Mm.
There's multi layers in the universe. I think we get a misconception when we say multiverse. So it's there's a universe with multi layers.
Mm. Yeah, because what really did a number on me was when I watched, and I was late to it, right? Was I Clone Tyrone. Now, on the system of level of control, they just showed us, if there's 10 levels, they just showed us level 3 on how, just the music, the food is controlling everyone. And that's just level 3. You know what I'm saying? And then the higher this project I'm looking on at the screen, to turn the knob now, they're gonna go higher. So now they want to introduce, or they want to go to level 8 and 9, where the person doesn't even know you're being controlled, because you don't have control over your light body. They do. You won't have control over your thoughts. They'll have control over your thoughts. That's a very weird, scary thing to even experience, that, to know that someone's
It's
controlling you. You don't
happening.
even know it.
It's happening.
It's
You
happening.
know,
Yeah.
it's happening. And that's the sad part about it. It's happening. Because we can't have our cake and eat it too. So like the aspect of going back into the wilderness, we'll have to go back to being compatible with the earth and nature and get away from this technology
Mm,
driven society, because the technology driven society is Xing out our other two bodies. See, when they got Christ on the cross, he's in between the soul and the physical body. This is the spirit in between the soul and the physical body.
Oh yeah, the two thieves. Right, 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 right.
Right, right. And the spirit, the psyche will be the mind. So the return of the spirit is the representation of Christ in between the soul and the physical body. Mind, body, soul. That's your trinity.
Yeah, because you know how they say that Jerusalem is the holy land, in quotations. I think that I think that you know what could be holy about the land, if you don't corrupt the land, if you don't have distortion. Like like brothers could make a holy land in, what's an open area, like New Mexico, for an example. Let's just take New Mexico, right? And all of this open land that's in United States, to actually purify, to send positive vibrations, having really good hearted, genuine, vibing people in this area of where, let's just say, if we were trying to build a community, for an example, to have that can be holy land because of the people in it and the vibration that people would have. You wouldn't, and to make sure that people understand, like, hey, you shouldn't be jealous. You shouldn't be jealous of whatever someone else has have. You shouldn't have the 7 deadly sins. You shouldn't be having the 7 virtues in order. Do you know what I'm saying? And as I'm trying to say something, am I not saying it right?
No, no, you on point. You on point because that'll be the collective consciousness of the people. But
Mm,
unfortunately, the collective consciousness of the people is feeding it to the media. So the collective consciousness is overcrowded by what's being showed on television for entertainment or what's being projected from the news and the media. So this is why we're seeing a projection of these things. They tell you what the weather gonna be, and then sometimes the weather don't even happen. They're projecting this. It's a projection. It's a weather projection. They're telling you. And shout out to FS Dratio. They say the esoteric knowledge is hidden in the written knowledge. It is. We just have to understand that we live in a duality. We have to understand what black and white is in the two sides of the coin. So once we can grasp those concepts, we can be able to understand the esoteric knowledge being hidden inside of the written knowledge.
Mm. Yeah, and even when I'm, speaking to religious people, and they would tell me about, excuse me, they would tell you about the Bible and all of that, and then I have to remind them. I said, the Vatican got all the spiritual knowledge, right? You do understand that, right? Like that's why it's down there. And those books that they have, with spiritual of ancient spiritual knowledge and wisdom. This is what the Crusades were about. This is what was burning all the witches is all about, right? This is to cut, to cut off any indigenous ones here in America's knowledge off and cut you from that. Do you know what I mean? So it's something that I'm really into this spiritual thing, and the suppression of it, what's happening. It's totally disgusting to me, but slowly but surely.
Oh yeah.
Facts, you're right.
Oh yeah. Go
My
ahead,
bad.
bro. You go.
Nah, facts, you're right. It was all these conquests and crusades. It was all literally just to cut off the energy, or
Yeah,
redirect it, if you could say, because you can't cut off the energy. It's energy, but not
yeah,
good, key.
yeah. No, you're
Nah,
right.
yeah, you're right. I was gonna follow up with what you said about, we say they controlling the waters. They're also controlling the waters above, and that would be the ether. Those are the airwaves, the waters above. You know, the unseen things that we can't see. These signals, these messages that are being sent and received, they're in control of that, just like they're in control of the physical water on the earth. We got to
Mm,
understand what's done in so-called heaven is done on earth. The heavens are the skies. So, we having a misconception when heaven don't exist and all that. Well, not that concept of heaven. We have to understand so we can understand what these things are, so we can become aware, so we can let these children know, so they won't go through the same things that we went through in our lifetime.
right. And just for the record, you know, your higher self, which is to me, that I, and trust me, everyone here, your I will never lie.
That's all they doing, just blinding the eye. You know, they want you looking with your two eyes. They don't want you seeing with your eye.
Mm,
Because for you to see with your eye, you would become so intuitive that it will make you unfit to be a slave. You would possess the knowledge of the universe, the keys to the universe. So you would need to rely on them for food, protection, and things of that nature. They got us trapped in this matrix system, which is built to cipher the energy. They're ciphering the feminine energy from everyone. But then there's a return of feminine energy with the great awakening that's happening, and we're just getting a misconception of what's actually taking place. And I
Yeah.
hate to just yep. Go ahead, you got it.
No, I ain't want to cut you off either. Nah, you just made me realize something, and it's crazy. That's why I love movies, bro. Because how many times we all done watch The Matrix? Look at the name of the person who basically think about what I'm about to say. What was his name? Cipher, right?
yeah.
But look, it's right in front of you. Why they chose that name? Cypher. He just out of all people, they chose his name. But guess what he wanted to do? He wanted to go back 360 degrees, bro.
Mm.
I'm just I don't know. I just question everything. It's just like they could have chose every name, but they chose Cypher. And he just look what his decision was. Throw me back in.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never really thought about that, like the name. But nah, I land right there.
No, you onto something with the names. They don't do anything for no reason. It's all for also the initiatives. The initiates. That watch the movie, that will understand exactly what is being said, but to the normal person, it would just go right over their head. And
Uh,
this right here on the screen, you know, remote viewing technology. It seems like every tech that they come up with, right, is an aspect of us. And anyone knows anything about remote viewing, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I think everyone can remote view, if you practice to. Everyone has this, but they are taking tech from the human mind, the human body, and from the ethers and from the earth, and then calling it their own. Damn, they slick, boy.
you know what's crazy too? You used to watch Futurama,
I know I never got into that.
Yeah, I watched it before.
but if you never really watched it, I know you happen to stumble across the random episodes with the brains, with the heads in the incubator, like the tube.
Right.
I think they was trying to tell us something with that because why they kept showing us these heads and these incubators, specifically important people. But I'll land right there.
Mm. Those heads in those incubators, man. That consciousness lives on, and that's
See,
what they.
see, that's
Yeah, they.
yeah. See, we cook. That's why yeah, we cooking. When we on this shit, I ain't gonna front. Cause you see
Yeah,
exactly what I'm saying. Exactly.
yeah, they able to shift the consciousness. And if you remember Wild Wild West with Will Smith, they had an Abraham Lincoln head, and they was still talking to it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And this is the return of those old souls that we talking about. So they actually doing this. They doing this. This is technology that was learned by the Egyptians. They held this technology. This is why Elon Musk is saying within the next 50 years, death will gonna be a choice. If you want to die, it's because they're ciphering this energy from the ether. They're ciphering this technology. There was already an Ethernet before the internet. They're not creating anything. They're just reproducing things in an artificial form.
Yeah, to even think of what Bro Sanchez showed like a couple streams prior, how the buildings were built in the jungle, in the middle of the jungle, in stone, y'all, like granite. I can't even, and I don't even want to think even before that, the tech that everyone had, the knowledge, the access, being able to tap in, you know, like right now, I can guarantee you that, they're doing this. In our era, the technology is moving so fast because one of us has the answer to this problem we have. You feel me? And this is why it's beautiful that you're bringing this to the forefront, Key. Speaking about our light bodies, because if any one of us, right, is able to ignite and master these bodies that come with you, you will have the solution to everything. Okay. Okay. That means you really are tapped in. And this is why they attack the children, because they don't want them to ever know what we're discussing today.
Yo, this might be a little random. I'm,
Mm,
I'm I'm smoking right now, but I'm listening to you. You brought up the technology about the jungle, right?
mm,
You ever watch Jungle Book?
yeah.
For some weird reason, I mean, that was always my movie. But think about what they showed you in Jungle Book. They're showing you everything right in front of us, bro. Remember that old ass temple when they was dancing in?
Yeah.
Nah, then I'm gonna just leave it right there. Just think about what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Ye-
right?
Yeah. It's crazy. And even on my little channel, right? I have, you know, I've been doing this segment like lifting the veil, and I've got this Zeus head. You feel me? Because universal law says it's mandatory for these oppressors and the ones in control to tell you the truth. And so when you flip, who Zeus really is, and you flip his head upside down, and then you'll see this entity. I mean, it's mind blowing, but they're telling you right now, that they're tapping into some of these, I would say, uh, bad forces. In other words,
But they can't hide nothing.
Right. I don't know. They cut T Wriggles off.
no, 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 no. I'm still here. I just got into a thought, and I'm always saying this because for some it might look glim and gloomy right now, but for some reason, I know it's getting better, because there's so many more people, y'all. There's so many people just waking up to the truth about things. That right there lets me have, like, I'm totally confident in where we're heading. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't look good, but to me, that's the facade. Do you know what I'm saying? No, no, no. Like, people are knowing about these corporations. People knowing about secret societies. People are knowing that we have boule and gate guards and whoop whoop whoop. And then people are knowing about this light body, and everyone will have to play their role in this world stage, basically.
That's a fact. And, we talk about sellouts all the time, but we don't talk enough about those buyers, those people who buying
Mm,
into the system of things.
mm,
We talk about people selling out, but we don't focus on those who buying into the system of things. Like I said, we want our cake and eat it too. We want to, not give up our social advancements with this technology, but we also want things to be better when they don't go together. Chaos comes with all these technological advances and things of that nature, because evil people are now possessing uh, technology that would only be sourced through you putting the work in to get, like telepathy and things of that nature. Now it's just easy accessible because you can purchase it with money, which is an illusion in the first place.
mm. And look, this is I'm listening to Riza Islam have a conversation with Malcolm Jamal Warner on the Knob podcast, right? Since because I never knew. No, I didn't know that this was going on. And they're discussing, what's, how can we solve the problem. And one of the things is that, you know the let's just say, okay, the bad ones are always showing us the bad, but they never show all the good things that are happening. Like this brother over here, he was able to create this and this and that and make that. Oh, and then this group over here of brothers now have started this organization that now is able to feed children, guide children, and that. Oh, and this brother over there, he's created a format that's bringing back mechanics in woodshop. Like they don't highlight none of that, but it's going on. And I thought that was such a really good thing that Riza Islam was touching on, and Malcolm was talking about, and this is why, Malcolm isn't here also, because they don't like that at all.
Oh yeah. Um, that was once again they're impregnating the subconscious mind with negative connotations, negative thoughts, bring forth negative actions. We have to be you got to be opened up to these things, because they're not natural. Harming others and things of that nature is that's not really natural. We had a um like I wanted to say on Bro's channel the other day, we was all about live and let live. So there is no way that we could be the first slave owners, kinda, you know what I'm saying? Because we had a concept of live and let live, that we were all godlike beings, and no one possesses any land. The earth is the divine, and we just here visiting, and we here to do our job to, take care of it and live off of it
Mm,
while we're able to. You know what I mean? During our time here. And we would take trips and visit here. Our lifetime is like trips. So that's why I want to, bring forth the concept and let people have an understanding that the earth is not a prison. It's only a prison when we stuck in a world ruled by evil. When it's
mm,
ruled by evil, and we're by default voting the evil in, and behind the evil, then that's what we gonna get. So it's all about, shout out to the Virgo. Once again, shout out to Awakening Mind. Shout out to everybody, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button for us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. Change your perception.
mm.
Once you change your perception, change your thoughts. It'll change your actions, and they won't even come to you like that. You can detect the powers that be can detect the slave. Like this other. I'm gonna bring this back up. Let's see. Okay, Project Stargate and remote viewing technology. The CIA's files on psychic spying. So this is something that we talked about, T. Wriggles, from them being able to project, like when we talk about if you leaking and things of that nature. You know what I mean? They're already starting to read these things off impulses, of how you react to certain situations, and your cell phone could be taking your pulse,
Mm,
so they can read you, they can know how to act, but it's all AI generated, artificial intelligence versus divine intelligence. This is the spiritual warfare. Artificial intelligence versus divine intelligence. AC, DC type thing going on. All these things are right in front of our eyes, right in front of our faces. So, we can really see what's happening, but we have to be able to decode. We got to see it with our eye and not with our eyes. We got to be able to see, make your eye single, and you'll be able to see through all things.
yeah, and it's crazy that most people don't think that remote viewing is real. Remote viewing is like a form of clairvoyancy, and they even made a movie out of this. And they called it Minority Report with Tom Cruise, and they had those precogs, you know, looking in to certain people's lives so they can see if they're going to commit crimes in the future. And that right there, that movie, all that was talking about was you being able to be in your house and able to see, like if I can be at home and I'm able to see inside of Key Norfolk's home to see what he's doing. And this is fact. Like this isn't just a figurative of my imagination here. You know what I'm saying? This is now being pumped out by the CIA that they can do it. The one that even said it was on a TED Talk. I think his name was, what was his name? Terrell Bragg, something of that. And he would speak about uh, ESP and having these, you can have conversations. Like I can have conversations with Key by not even having to call him. And we're having this conversation. Like this isn't uh hoopla I'm talking about here. This is facts. This is what we can all do.
Oh yeah. Once we can access our etheric bodies, we'll be able to tap into the feelings and thoughts and emotions of others. And shout out to the Virgo for joining. I think the part of them being able to see, exactly what's going on. I think it come with these smart TVs that we got. When you cut your TV off, they can see through the camera lens on your phone, and things of that nature. But I think that we can see inside the mind of each other once we be able to connect. Once you have a heart to heart with a person, you know, now both of y'all are speaking on a different plane of existence, should I say. So you will be able to see into the hearts or the minds of the other person. And shout out to the Virgo salute.
Salute, family. Salute. How y'all doing today?
Oh, we good. We good, brother, man. How you doing,
Good.
Virgo?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, I put in there change your perception. That's one of our biggest problems right now. I think we facing because from my research is this: when we go to the biblical text and we research that, we fail to realize that theology is the study of God. That's what it is. And once you study God, then it'll better help you change your perspective and your perception of things. And what I'm saying is this right here. We don't went down the rabbit hole and listen to people outside of ourselves and got their perception and perspective on the study. But when we do it ourselves, we come up with different answers. And the answer that I have came to a conclusion with in my study is perception. It's off. And if we go and use the Bible and so-called religious books, and we take our time and dissect it, we'll understand it. Now, in the garden, he told them, don't eat off the tree of good and evil. What he was saying was, your perception is finna be thrown off because it ain't but one source, and I'm the source. But you choosing to be in a dual mindset of good and evil. Even in the Bible, it say, when your eye is single, your whole body shall be full with light. It's talking about the mind's eye. Our perception is off because we think and we perceive that there are other forces against us, and we are combating something that don't even exist in our mind. And once we change our perception and know that it's only one source, that everything is in the all, that everything is a part of the all, everything flows in the all, we move and have our being in the all, then our perception of duality, because if you take a coin, yeah, it's got both heads and tails on it, but it's just one coin. Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one. The whole entire universe is God. Everything in it is God. And once we get to that level of realization, anything outside of ourselves, anything we studying outside of God, I'm using that word God, it won't even matter to us anymore, because now we derail when we went into duality. When you come into oneness, you're back on track. That's all I had to say.
Oh yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Yeah, you know, in the garden they was opening that third eye, but allowing other spectacles of light, a separate spectacle of light from a bottom source when they had the serpent. And but what, like you said, what God was letting them know, you know, I'm using that word for a lack of better words. I would say the Creator was letting them know that I am the source of all things. And then once Eve bit that, that would be the spiritual mind taking a bite out of opening that third eye and going down that wormhole. You see what I'm saying? On his own understanding, without the connection to the divine, to the main source. So yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. The hidden knowledge that we all are searching for is reality, true reality. Well, God is that reality. The Creator is that reality. It is experiencing it through us, and we are experiencing it through it. And so uh the elites of this world knows the thing. You got to think about what they do. They'll give 2 or 3 million or a whole bunch of money to give to people outside, this country. Why? They know the principle and the law of giving and receiving. They know that they can't own anything. See, we think we own stuff. No, we are using this stuff. We are in a continuous flow of consciousness. And once we know we are part of that consciousness and our perception change and know that what the universe is good and very good, we'll stop fighting. Because as soon as I fight, I'm bringing all that energy back to me. Now hardship coming to me, anger coming to me, poverty coming to me. But when I know I'm in a perfect place, because God is perfect, God is light, God is everything, and I call it that because my perception has changed. Now the good is coming back to me. Life is being better. I'm getting healed. I can give to the less fortunate. I can live a complete life because that's what it want to do through us. So that's from my research and how the transformation took place in me. My perception had to change because I wanted to blame everybody outside of me, and then I create all my misfortunes and I create all my fortunes by my thoughts, my actions, and my deeds. So we got to get out of this battling other people, because they're a part of the source too. It's like the main scripture, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. And once we understand that every person, everything is a part of the source, and it's good and very good, then life get easier.
Hey, shout out to Awakening Minds. Thank you so much for supporting the show, my good brother. Salutes to you. Shout out to Awakening Minds. Hey man, make sure y'all drop y'all channel links out there. You know, especially if you have a channel and you're speaking on a panel. A lot of my listeners want to, you know, be able to check you guys out too, and we're gonna support each other so we can keep growing. So make sure y'all share y'all channel links too.
You know, I would say to what the Virgo, you know, how to change your perception. You know, how do you do that to change your perception? Well, it's how much you know and what you are experiencing. So for me to help anyone that's understand, how do I change my perception? Well, then, hey, you might have to research more. You know, on the physical side of things, you might have to research more to find out what the truth is. And now you know, because once you know something, now your perception can change. If you don't want to go the studying route, well, then you will have to go through a life experience or a spiritual experience. Now that will change your perception on things immediately if you experience something. So that's how I would look at, how would you change your mind about things. Okay, well, just like the Virgo said, you know, through his research. So he was searching and he found out. Now he's into the knowledge. And then for me, I tried to cover both ends. I want the knowledge, but I also need this spiritual experience here, this life experience. Now I know perception, thought, vibration now changes.
Hey, shout out to Dominic. Welcome to the panel. Y'all feel free to interject. And then with changing your perception too, we want to be aware of where we're actually standing. What is our perception point? So we need an understanding of what our perception point is, and we have to have a destination as well. Shout out to my brother, the enemy's public. Salutes. I want to go to Dominic, and then I want to go to my brother, the enemy's public. We'll go on order. Salutes. Y'all feel free to interject.
Okay, I just came on key to say hi. For some reason, my saying hi on chat doesn't show up anymore. But anyway, I just came on to say hi.
It's not showing up. I'm not sure, man. Let me check on that, Dominic.
Okay.
And if you can see Dominic in the chat, can you guys let me know? And if you guys want to interject on the title of the build or anything that we've been talking about, feel free to do so. I'm gonna check on that right now. Peace, my brother Nasir. Salute.
Salute, my brothers. Peace. How you doing this evening, brother?
No complaints, good brother. It's always good to be here building with the brothers and, you know, having some great conversations and being able to pass along knowledge to each other, because, you know, we learn from each other. I always love for everybody to be able to come up and express their thoughts on the build. And, you know, I got no complaints at all, good brother.
Well, I'm happy that you don't have any complaints and nothing to complain about. That means you're doing okay. And most of the time, nobody listens anyway, brother.
Right.
Nobody listens, brother.
You got to answer her back and say, well, what if I'm not okay? Are
And
you okay? Well, first, before I get to breathing out all this good oxygen that I've been breathing in, I mean, what if I'm not okay?
indeed,
Yeah, you know, we
I didn't catch the gist of the build. I was just basically really waking up, and I seen that you were live. So let me go up and greet the brothers. You know,
oh yeah, most definitely. We was building on the resurrection of the light body, and the earth is not a prison. We was just building on, you know, chakras outside of the seven chakras, um, and what the age of awakening is, the restore of balance, the return of the divine feminine. And it's not a masculine versus a feminine thing, but it should be a beautiful dance going on. We shouldn't be under a matriarchy or a patriarchy system. We should be under both.
yeah, we should be under ma'at, that balance,
Correct.
because first it took that very balance to bring each and every one of us here, because none of us can get here without the agent of a man or a woman. It took those two to
Facts,
bring
facts.
all of us here. So that balance must be maintained, because if you have a household with a man and a woman have her part of her authority, and so does the man. Sometimes the man has to step back and say, okay, the wife's going to handle that because she's capable and I'm not, and vice versa. So that balance need to be reestablished and maintained. You know, things are not natural today. It's not natural. I heard you say that earlier. We're not living in a world that's natural. And you can take that in every aspect, from the food to the air to the behavior of men and women. Some men act like women, and some women act like men. So that's not natural at all. And when we see that, that keeps us from reproducing. And if we do reproduce, just so happen that that unit happened and we do reproduce, where is the normalcy in that household if you do reproduce? So that balance must be maintained at all costs. No matriarchal, even though myself, if I am going to lean more towards someone, it would be the woman. I love my father. If I had to choose a father out of every man on this planet, I would have choose the father that I had, but my father is not my mother. That's all I got to say about that, brother, for now.
Okay. I got something to say, bro. Peace. See, that's what I'm talking about. Our perception is off. See, we want to look at the effect. We don't want to look at the cause. Our perception should be the spiritual reality. Now, in order to have a balance on the physical realm, you got to be balanced in the spiritual first. Our perception is that we want to look at the material world and not go beyond that and see the spiritual. See, it's an error somewhere in our spiritual walk. And what the error is, we don't realize how wonderful and beautiful this balance is in reality. We calling it either good or bad. We're not calling it what it is, perfect. Everything is perfect. The moon come up, the way it's supposed to, the sun rise the way it's supposed to, the wind blow when it need to, the waves move when it need to, the earth shakes when it have to, the hurricanes come. All of this stuff is a physical event, but guess what? It's a spiritual event happening before the effect that we see on the earth. So once we change our perception and know that it is a spiritual reality we are looking for, and that spiritual reality is perfect, good, pure, absolute, and we walking in it. And a lot of people is being misled and being guided on the effect. You can't change your effect by effect. You got to change the effect by the cause. So we got to start in the spiritual realm. All of this taking place on the spiritual, like my brother say, the masculine and the feminine is doing a dance. But when it comes to this earth, when that dance is expanded to the earth, is just one force. See, we ain't talking about no woman and man. We talking about two different types of a torus field, one in, one out. We talking about a spiritual energy. See, our perception is wrong. Everything we think about is on the earth plane. We supposed to be in the spiritual plane, and then we can create a greater effect for our lives first, and then for our family, and then for our communities, and then for the world. We off. We off the track. We
My
think it's
brother.
physical.
But what perception and whose perception must we go by? Because a perception is refers to the way a person understands and interprets something.
All
You
right,
have to, you know what I'm saying? That's what a perception is. It's how a person see things and interpret things.
okay.
So
Well,
you see, perception, I really don't like that word because it's dealing with how somebody sees something.
let me explain it to you how the metaphysics look at it. Apprehending truth through intuition, the ability to perceive spiritual, the faculties of seeing spiritual reality in spite of appearance that may suggest contrary. What it's telling you, you looking at the effect first, and you should be looking at the spiritual apparatus first with the 12 faculties that's in your mind. And that is where we throwed off at. These people don't told us that duality, the good and evil exists, and what we should be changing our perception is that everything is good. I'm good, you good, everybody good. The life good. We walk in a divine realm. What we call God, we inside. That's why the Bible say you move and have your being inside of God. Well, if God is that place where we exist at, and it say it is good, it is light, then we should call it what it call itself, good and light. So it shouldn't be no duality, and we shouldn't look at the appearance. We should look at the spiritual part. That's what I'm saying.
But don't you need a balance to have that? So there has to be duality.
Balance, balance is part of it. The 7 laws of Hermetic teaches us that they ain't talking about, when they say gender, they ain't talking about man and woman. We just the effect. Man and woman is the effect of gender. It's a cause before man and woman came.
But
It's
brother,
spiritual.
if we were read Mark 10:18 and Luke 18 and 19, The scripture said no one is good except God alone.
Huh?
That's what the scripture says. No one is good except God alone. In those verses, Jesus is
Right.
questioned by a rich young ruler
Uh-huh.
who calls himself the good teacher. Jesus
Okay.
responded by asking why the man calls him good, stating that only God is truly good. That's
Mm-hmm.
what the scriptures say.
That's
Okay.
what I was gonna say. That we can't, in this earth, we can't look for wanting it to be all good or all bad. It's about what reign, because we on the meeting ground. This is Armageddon that's happening, and we need bad to be able to perceive what good is.
Exactly.
Positive and negative.
Yes, sir. And also God also, if everything was good, God would have never told Abraham to find me 100 people and I'll spare the city, find me 50 and I'll spare the city. And then he couldn't find nobody outside of Lot and his family. So if either we going to go by the scripture or we're not. I don't live in a world that I see everybody and everything is good.
Well,
I don't see that.
and that's the problem, bro. I guarantee you, if you don't see these people as good,
No,
and
sir.
as wait, let me show you, and maybe we'll get back on the panel when you experience this. If
Brother,
you
I'm
don't see
59
these,
years old, brother. I experienced a whole lot.
no, I'm saying what I'm finna say. Once you change your perception and call everything and everyone, every car, every tree, every grass, everything good, your whole being is going to change. If you call it good, if you call it perfect, because you got kids, everybody on this panel probably got kids. You claim yourself as a good man, and if your kids go out there and do something wrong, the first thing the people gonna say, well, he came from a good family. Why is he doing that? Because of the way we side our perception is. Our perception of is the source is the good thing, and everything came from that source. It's got to be a good portion in that thing. I don't care what it is. And I know that our job is to overcome the evil within ourselves. And that is the error. And the only way you're going to overcome self and lower self is to call yourself and your actions, your deeds, your thoughts, your surroundings, your environment good. You can't make no change if you call it from the physical eyes. What you see with the physical eyes, in the physical ears, and the physical way you speak on these things, you ain't gonna change it, and you're gonna get sucked in mentally, spiritually, to the decay, lack, impoverishment.
We got the faith. We got the faith. That's speaking, but in a manifest destiny form of thought. But we got the faith, but there's also action. So we also got to put some action behind that. And I think with calling it bad, I think that's gonna change the action,
Exactly.
because
Because if you
you can
call
take
it
a
good,
bit of negative and make a positive.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And not only that, brother, you said perception. Again, we're going back to that word perception. If everybody everybody thought that way and perceived it that way, everybody would be living vicariously through your perception. Everybody has their own way of thinking. Everything that is actually said is good. It's not necessarily good.
Bro.
Things that we consider good right now is not actually good. And things that we say are bad is not actually bad. It's about the perception of the individual.
And
When you perceive something, is how you see it. And if everybody lived according to how you perceive things, everybody will be living vicariously through how you see things. And that's a non-reality.
All right.
That's a non-reality.
Let me explain it from the metaphysical point of view where I study from. The absolute, all right? We call it the absolute in metaphysics. And its character is omnipresent, all good. That's what I study. It's all good. All right? And when I study this, it tells me that I need to change my attitude. Why? My attitude is a state of mind that I'm in. And my attitude towards my environment determines my nature. It determines my way of living. If I got a positive attitude, the good gonna come. If I got a negative attitude, poverty, sickness, all death, all that kind of stuff come to your life. So when you change your perception and know that the all good is all omnipresent, then you will see a true reality. What they done did to us is showed us duality and gave us good and evil. So now we moving from one hemisphere to the next hemisphere of trying to mark what is good, what is bad, when the universe is telling us, baby, everything is good, everything is perfect. And if you align your mind and soul up with that, then your life and what you receive from the universe is good and very good. Now, this is way I have changed my life, and I'm just sharing it with y'all.
I think I agree with you to the extent of everything is supposed to be good, but everything ain't good.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But
it's
if
got
that work for you, brother, and make you the good brother you are, if that work for you, nobody could give that to you or take it from you. But it may not necessarily work with everybody.
Yeah,
back.
it's universal. It's universal. All us got a mind, so we can change that. All us
Back.
got a soul, so we draw up on the source, which is the all good or the absolute, whatever you want to call it. We draw from that. So if we drawing from that, then therefore we gotta call ourselves what it calls itself, because you're not separate from the source. And that's where the problem at. And when you see the duality, that's what it's saying to you. Your ego is saying to you, you ain't with God. That's why when if you read in Genesis, it seemed like God wasn't there when they bit off the apple and stuff like that, because he came back and he said, yo, who told y'all that y'all was naked? But the omnipresent was always there. The illustration was trying to show us that when we feel like we are separate or a part of the source, then guess what? We fall into duality. Now we fighting shit that we don't supposed to fight. We calling shit bad when it ain't bad. And that's, I just got through telling somebody that rent from me that you got to be grateful for the time you tripped over there and bust your knee. You got to be grateful for that. And then you got to be grateful for that $500 you got yesterday. Then you got to be grateful because you got a flat tire. Then you got to be grateful because you got the tire fixed. That's how this shit work, bro.
So what about them kids that's starving and they in the middle of a war right now? That's good.
Huh?
So what about them kids that starve in the middle of a war right now? That's good.
Listen.
Nah, answer the question, bro. I'm listening.
No,
Don't answer the question, bro.
I think it's good and all good.
That's good for kids to be starving that's in the middle of a war. Do y'all hear this?
Yeah. That's what I just
Yo,
said.
do y'all hear what repeat what you just said, bro?
I said it's good.
Is anybody else hearing this? Did he just say that's good?
I heard it. You
Okay,
know,
I know. I'm just making sure I'm not bugging. All right.
you know,
So explain to me how that's good, sir. Please explain it to me how that's good.
yeah, I
Is
want to
that
hear it too.
is that God's plan too? Because I don't think you be on Bro Sanchez's channel. And I mean, it's just common sense, bro. You talking about kid.
Wait,
I just brought up a
hold up.
simple question,
I
bro.
just showed you how I changed my perception.
You keep
My
talking about
perception,
you. You keep talking about you. The other brother just said that's not gonna help everybody else. You keep talking about you, bro. That's
I'm
not
telling
us,
you,
bro.
I'm telling you from my experience is this right here. I know where I'm at. And
Okay, so answer the question about the kids. I just asked you, is that
I
good?
told
You
you I
said yeah.
called everything good, bro.
So how is that
Everything.
good? Please explain to all of us.
Everything
And
is
I'm gonna be
good.
quiet. I'm gonna be quiet after that. Explain it how that's good, bro.
From my perception, everything in this realm is good.
But you know what, brother, when
Everything
you say
happens is good.
perception, a
Huh?
perception is how individuals interpret and organize sensory information to understand their environment, not everybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a perception is, bro. To understand your environment, you're understanding your environment, but your environment is not everybody else's environment. But if the brother said, "Can you say how that's good?" You're just saying it's good, but you're not explaining how that's good.
Okay. Well, let me just simply say it like this. We move, every human on the planet move and have our being inside of what we call God. And God say that I am good. Didn't you just tell me a scripture that God said that he is good?
The only one
So
that's good.
that's right. So if we move and have our being inside the only one that is good, and he call himself good, then I should call it good.
It and
So
him is two different things. It and him
No,
is it and
you
him is
can
two
change
different
it. I'm
things.
telling you how perception works.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling
you're right. You're right. That is how perception works. But you can't tell someone that's how they should see things.
I'm telling you how I have came to my realization, and
Understand?
he put it up there. Look, listen to what he say.
it's the process of how individuals interpret and organize sensory information to understand their environment. It involves recognizing, interpreting, and responding to stimuli received through the senses, including sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. This understanding goes beyond simply receiving sensory data. It encompasses how the brain makes sense of that data to form meaningful experiences. Here's a more detailed explanation. The sensory input perception begins with the reception of stimuli through our senses. You know, this like touch, sound, smell, things you can hear, things of that nature, taste, organization, and interpretation. The brain then organizes and interprets these sensory inputs, drawing on past experiences, knowledge, and expectations to create a
Indeed.
coherent understanding of the environment. Uh, you know, and the way to perceive, I'm getting a manifest the destiny type of vibe just a little bit, because there's no way I can look at something that's bad and say that it's good. I
No,
can say I want it to be good, but I gotta do some things. That's where your work come in with your faith.
exactly.
So I can call something good all day, but that's gonna make me a fool. If a robber keep coming to my house and I keep saying he good and I keep going to sleep, waking up and all my shit missing, then now I got a problem. It's a problem that lies with me because my perception is off then.
You
Bro,
know
that's
what
what I'm
will
about
make
to
it
say.
good?
Like
You
that's
know
like
what
you
will make
see in
it
the.
good, Chi? When you know what will make it good?
Go ahead, bro.
If you okay, you time him and you squat on him and he come in, you catch him, good came out of that. And he ain't gonna
Fact.
rob, you're not gonna rob nobody else. Why? Because you caught him and he was dealt with. It's the end result of something that the good can come out of it. Not
Right.
the act that, okay, some children was, people who are going to get food or shot down on the Gaza Strip when they're going to get food. And then somebody lying about saying they doing that. That's not good. You can't make that good. You can't make some
Right.
children and women, men, women, and children killed. You can't make that good.
Facts. And that's where a negative and a negative, you're gonna have to take a negative on the other negative to make the positive. And then from the focal point, restore balance.
And
If
that's truth.
someone's
And then
wrong
that's
you,
truth right there. My fault, Keith, cutting you off, but then that's truth.
yeah, big facts. Because if someone's trying to unalive you, then you can't fight that with prayer. Or, I hope he don't do nothing to me. Now, some might not happen to you, but to give them the opportunity to do it and just think, well, I'm just gonna let them do it. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna let them shoot me, you know,
Yo, Key, I
shoot
got the
me.
perfect example. My bad, bro. I got a perfect
Yeah,
example right here. That's like you
I'm not
seeing an
good.
old woman getting mugged down the street, and you walk away like, okay, it was good because the robber got something out of that. That don't make no sense.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this: like if you look at the world itself, and if everybody took this mental attitude and changed, the world wouldn't be impoverished, sick, death, and all this. It wouldn't happen, bro. So
What physical is gonna change it though? I mean, what
that's
physical action are we gonna
your
change?
your perception. This is what I'm telling you.
It's not going to change it. Doing good would change it. Not saying
Well,
good.
that's the first step. Your first step of defense is your mind. If you don't change your mind, you can't do no positive action, bro.
Right. But we
I
first
agree
gotta
with
get
that.
we
I agree
first
with
gotta
that
get to a
statement.
Okay.
I
point.
agree with that statement. That statement is, I agree with that.
So
We gotta
you
get
got to change your perception
gotta
on.
get to a point first that there is not that well we ain't nothing happening now. So now I can say, okay, now my perception is going to go toward everything good. But I first gotta stop the bad first. I can't
Exactly.
just keep calling the bad good and think the bad gonna go away because I'm calling it good. That's gonna make it more accepted. That's
Well,
like if I got a,
Exactly.
that's like if I
Yes,
got a,
sir.
just like if I got a child around me and this child wants to be a homosexual. Now I could tell this child, now I'm gonna accept if you make the choice to be a homosexual, but you shouldn't be a homosexual. If you want to produce and have a healthy family, you wouldn't want to be a homosexual. But if you choose to be a homosexual, I'm still gonna love you. That's fine, because that's your choice. But I'm telling you that you shouldn't choose that because there is a good, there is a right and a wrong. I'm not gonna say good or bad. I'm gonna say right and a wrong because the right thing is what's gonna make us compatible to nature and compatible with life. See,
Indeed.
when I think about the word God, I think about life. I think about nature. You know, if the God that's in a book or a building, I don't really relate to because I go outside in nature and I listen to God. I can't tell what y'all calling God nothing. This divine, this great spirit. I can't tell it nothing. It don't need to hear nothing that I gotta say. It can listen to a rock because there's a vibration coming off of a rock. A rock talk too.
You know,
A rock
if
has vibration to it too.
but
So it
if
don't have to listen to me.
it's
I can
there's no if there's no distinguishment between good and bad. If everything is good, then there will be no need for obedience to the will of God.
okay.
It would be no it won't be no need for that because everyone can just do what they want. It because it says not my will but thy will be done. So therefore if everything is good even when it's bad, I mean it would make no sense. There would be it would be no extreme as far as like I don't believe in the heaven and hell after you die. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that. I believe hell and heaven is two conditions in life. In life, I don't believe in no promised land in the sky. I mean, the land is promised to us. We trying to get right now. That's how I understand and believe. We're trying to get back right now because it was stolen from us. That's the land that's promised. But good, we have to distinguish what is good and what is bad. But today, in this society, like the brother said earlier, most things here are not natural. The way we eat, you name it, it's not natural. And that's not good. It's not good.
Can I
Not
share for a
good at
second?
all. Oh
Ignacio,
yeah,
can
yeah,
I?
Dominic.
Okay.
And then T. Wrinkles, you can go after Dominic. Salute.
Okay, we're using English language. It's a meaningful language, so we've already been indoctrinated. In the old ancient times, energetically, the word good meant spiritual, and the word evil meant material. You live in a spiritual material world. So now, how would you decipher the difference? When somebody's called a good man, he's a spiritual person. He's probably intuitive at that point. So for most of us, we have to sustain our material. We got to eat food. You got to have a shelter. That's all material. So now, what is spiritual? The sun and the moon, air, thoughts. That's immortal, hence why they use the word spiritual. So when you see a spiritual being, then you realize, okay, so they're not so caught up in the material. That's more about flesh and blood. Once you become aware of that, because most people don't have those thoughts. So where do thoughts come from? I don't know. Where do all the language come from? I don't know. At least you're humbling yourself by saying, I don't know. But if you get into that feminine and masculine energy, usually more than feminine energy, you're in the teachable energy. Now, I'm not talking about the males and females. That, again, is for what's called the common sense. The
Exactly.
misleading, those are the misleading senses. You wake up in the morning, bang, you're in what's called consciousness. You're going to use the concept called the eye of the beholder in Plato's cave. Hence the senses. Can any of those senses easily be misled? Yeah, if all of a sudden they start putting up a hologram of another sun up in the sky, there you go. See how easy it easily be misled? No different if somebody says this is sugar, you taste it and all of a sudden it isn't sugar. It just means the senses could easily be misled.
Indeed.
Go ahead.
I say indeed. I'm agreeing, brother. I'm
Yeah.
just agreeing with you.
Yeah. So when people actually speak, they reveal themselves. Well, how does that make sense? Okay, so you only want to use the lower plane of your senses to grasp this. Again, it'll be like asking anybody here, who created Wi-Fi? Who created all the variations of languages? Who gave us the written work? Again, that would be a philosophy. You'll be asking all the whys. The whys is what's called wisdom. You'd have to go inwards and something will say within you, say, you're not ready for that information. Why? Because you're so caught up in chasing the material. You'll work every day. When a human being gets harmed, the human part gets harmed. The being part, what are we? Immortal? Maybe. But then again, why would we be called human beings? We are living beings in many forms. I don't care if it's an animal form, a plant form, or human form, but humans, for some reason or another, want to play this divide and conquer shit. Tell me the color of my skin, talk about my gender. Like, again, those are games that are played upon the senses. They're not actually challenge those senses. Forget about challenging others. Once you know thyself, let me change the word, know thy program. Once you realize what that is, you realize, okay, now I can play. Sure, you can. Because I get it. Most of us are going to use words in vain. Oh, I think I represent God. There you go. That's fine. So why don't you represent Lucifer while you're there too? Have the human experience, take it for what it is. Just try not to become attached to it. Hence the term be in the world, be in the vessel, but not of it. Because most of us here, as we're talking with each other and hearing each other, because hopefully you're listening from within, who's running the vessel? Who's running the liquids in your vessel right now? When you go to sleep, who functions it? Those are things that we're not actually taught to inquire inwards, unless you have somebody in your community that's a seer or a mystic or a wizard. But I get it. Governments are easy to mislead us. Settlements. Think about all the word with the word meant in it, because we're in the mind. Anyway, carry on, guys.
Like that spill, brother.
Well put. Well put. That was beautiful. Because the simple fact is, basically, that's what I was trying to say, but I might have said it wrong. But the thing is, we looking at life totally from the lower realm instead of the higher realm.
A lot of times we do, brother. A lot of times we do. But we cannot stop reality from being real with our perceptions. None of us. We can't.
Did you hear what he said? He said that we are spiritual beings, bro.
Understand that, but you know what?
Okay, but we don't
Wicked,
put
wicked.
more emphasis on the physical aspect. Your soul is part spirit and part matter.
I know
And
that, brother.
and the problem is we as people are looking at the effect. We're not addressing the cause, and this is where you make the change at. We can dress ourselves up, we can speak elegant, and we can do all these wonderful things until we understand, first of all, we in the mind of the all mind, and understand that it perspective perception of human beings is one, spiritual first. That's the first thing. Then second is the physical. And once we can change our perception and know that we in the all good,
Brother,
ain't nothing flaw about this but your mental and spiritual attitude. That is what's flawed. That's why in the 70s they said we got to take the shackles off our mind, because your mind is off the rail. And once you understand the true hidden knowledge that we are, listen, even though the Bible say they got kicked out of paradise, everything is still good. Everything. That's why the Bible say God is the same today. I mean, yesterday, today, and forevermore. It's a continuous of goodness flowing, but we are caught up that we're not part of that flow, that we are not part of the good, and
We
that's why
talking the matrix
our
though.
people struggle. Our
The
people.
matrix system. This is what we talking about. The veil. So the veil is gonna live, but we also gotta put forth some physical work. That's the matrix system that we caught in. Behind all this terraform earth and behind all these terraform people is a natural earth. It's a natural people, but it's behind the matrix system that's been placed in front of it. They putting the ego on the earth.
What
yeah,
They're putting
yeah,
egos
indeed.
on people.
Well, that's what I'm
So
Indeed.
saying.
yeah,
You're not gonna change this system by fighting the system. You're gonna change the system by going up there in the spiritual realm and destroying whatever entity they don't created to create the ego, bro. You can't
I
beat this
agree. But
system. You
you got
can't
to
beat
be
this
both.
system. Listen, I hear a
You
lot
gotta
of
be
brothers
both.
be talking about some, yeah, let's get some guns and go do this and
But
take this
no,
back.
that's
And
not the only type of fighting though.
what I'm just
Guns and
saying,
nothing physical. So there we go. We taking too much of a physical thing. First, I gotta first realize that I'm only the observer. I'm not controlling shit.
what
I got choices in front of me. So I can make a left, I can make a right. But I gotta make the right to get towards right. That's why I'm physically here. But in my mind, I'm gonna set precedence and set prayer or meditation or manifestation or whatever we want to call it. I'm gonna set it towards the goods goal, but my physical body still moving at the same time. So there has to be balance. There has to be both yin and yang. It's a white spot and a black spot on the yin yang symbol. It got to be both in order for this
No,
thing to work.
what
you
you
know,
said it earlier that
what spirit is when people murder people for no reason at all. What spirit are they operating in?
animal spirit.
It's still a spirit though.
That's
So,
why
so, so, so
that's why it's a
when
spiritual
people come to
warfare.
me, when people come to me and say they're spiritual, it don't sound deep to me because wickedness is a spirit also. That's a spirit also. And I
It's a spiritual
understand the
warfare.
laws. I understand the laws of cause and effect, but sometimes things have effect without a cause. When people do things to people for no reason at all, for no reason at all, you got an effect. No cause. When somebody do something, just randomly go into a building and shoot people for nothing, or bomb a place for nothing, you got an effect with no cause.
Sir,
There goes the law. There
you
goes the
cannot
law.
break the universal law. You cannot break the universal law. And the universe say for it to be an effect, it's got to be a cause. And if this is what I'm telling you,
Perhaps
perception, bro.
because they're wicked. They did it because they're wicked as hell.
Because of the simple fact is they looking at life as a duality. They ain't looking at it as it all good. They looking at it one way. They looking at it, it's good and it's bad. And when you in that state of mind, you in an unsettled mind. That's why the Bible said that, listen, I didn't give you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and soundness, which means salvation, which means health, goodness, well-being. So then when we walking in this duality, it's a unsettled spirit, bro. And when you say that this is a spiritual warfare, then how in the world is you're not going to the cause to fight the battle? The battle is not on this physical plane. You got to change the cause in order to change the effect. You're not finna go and remodel your kitchen without thinking about it. That is a thought got to take place in the spiritual realm in order for you to get the quite ideal on how you want to change that kitchen. It's got to happen in the mind first.
Dominic brought up a good point. You know, we thinking like we may be the originals or all of this. What if that ain't true? I'm just saying what if it's just a focus point. That's why just being the observer rules all. That's how you reach that balance because then you walking between those two lines. If these two people fighting from one side of the fence to the other side of the fence, all you got to do is sit on the porch and watch the fight. You see what I'm saying? Because we on the meeting ground. We in meat suits. This is where physical meets the non-physical. This is where the physical's happening. But then the physical meet the non-physical. So, I mean, we just gotta be on some manifest destiny, or we could pray. We could pray it away, or we could just call it good and just say it's good, and then it's gonna be good, like without nothing physical happening. I
Keith,
mean, but
Yo, Key, pull up,
Keith,
pull up, yo,
pull up that pyramid you had up.
nah, hold on.
Let me
Pull up
show you some.
the
Pull up
font,
that pyramid.
the font good, bro. When you done after that, put it on Google, please. When you done.
Okay,
what was you saying?
put up that pyramid. Let me show you what I'm saying. That pyramid you had up
No, I
early.
get what you're saying though. Like I get what you're saying, but it's just I feel like
I'm gonna show you what duality.
like,
I'm gonna show you
but
what duality
because,
leads you. Let me show you this.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna pull it up, but I want to say this
Uh-huh.
because I don't want to stay right here where we at. I
Oh,
want us to
okay,
keep building.
okay.
Yeah, because I want us to keep building. Because I feel like now we just stuck, and I feel like egos are broad right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I don't want to really do that, man. You know, we all can feel the way we want to feel. What
right.
what you eat ain't gonna make me go in there and take a shit. And what I drank ain't gonna make you drunk. You see what I'm saying? So now we just kind of pushing ourselves on each other. I just want us to just, continue to build. That's all. Because your perception is your perception. We can have a like-minded perception on things, but I don't want us to look at something that's not good and call it good. Because then I might as well tell her, I can't tell young females, hey, you don't gotta go out and sell your body. Hey, what do you like to do? Okay, let's create something that you like to do that bring you good to these the physical fighting things that I'm doing on the ground to fight this negative thing that I'm telling you, this bad thing that I'm telling you. So that's what I was trying to say earlier, that it ain't gotta be nothing, no fight, no harsh physical fight. We ain't talking about shooting nobody, killing nobody, or none of that. What we talking about is you gotta do something physical to turn it around. Cause if I tell the child that selling her body is good, then she gonna say, well, what's wrong with it?
Exactly.
So I have to physically show her a way that she can do something that's going to bring her joy and money. It's about balance. So I have to do something what's considered to be I got to put a negative action in on a negative action. Two negative to make a plus. -2. Then I take -2 and -2 times that, and I get a positive. So I'm with you on, we do got to change our perception. We do got to change our mindset, but first it has to be a reset. We got to detach first, then reset, then reconnect. It's just levels to it. Oh, Dominic, you was typing. You wanted to interject?
Well, I'm just
I ain't heard
saying,
from T. Wiggins in a minute either. T. Wiggins, you go next.
again, awareness would, I just typed in the back, awareness would probably serve many way before than balancing. You would have to first be aware of what you're fighting against, what you're up against, what you want to serve. Again, even the concept of, I think Gemma was talking earlier, cause and effect. We're actually in the effect and side effect. Unless you know where a language originates from, you're in the cause. I mean, sorry, you're in the effect. That's why it's erroneously when people say things like cause and effect. It's okay, so where are thoughts? You know, what we do is called afterthoughts. We speak or we write things. And even that, how are we supposed to read the written work? Left to right, right to left to right, right to left, like a scroll form, like a book form. What language are we supposed to speak in? Hebrew, Greek, Mandarin? You know, all of them have different energies. Even behind each symbol and each number has energy behind them. But to become aware of that, some people have to go beyond the senses at that point.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It's like we thinking we sleep. We thinking we in a dream, which we is, but the only thing different about that you in a dream, you in a dream, in a dream, in a dream, in a dream, in a dream. So you wake up once, you think you woke. Now you got to keep bursting through the next bubble. You got to burst through the next bubble. You got to burst through the next bubble. And we can physically align those with these chakra layers that we're talking about. We got to be able to connect the non-physical shit that we talking about to the physical shit. Or else I'm just gonna say, hey man, God work in mysterious ways. You never know. And I ain't trying to keep that same rhetoric going. What I'm trying to do is show the steps where we can do the things that we're talking about. We got to be information with our information.
Yeah, even when we say words or we parrot words like black and white, that's actually for magic. It's the unknown and the known. But unfortunately, most people just never, like telling a child, here's a black phone, here's a person that's dark skinned, and here's a person that's light skinned. I'm using the word person, this means persona, but you have to educate them at that point, bring out to see what kind of gifts they have. But for most people say, well, that person's black. I said, no, they're not. That person's white. No, they're not. You know, a person that could be of European could be dark skinned than a person from Barbados, they tan. So again, we have to distinguish how we use our language and how you speak, how you put it in order. It's like having chemicals. I mean, sorry, when you have signs for chemical signs, you have to know H2O, what does each one mean? But when people just aimlessly say the word, I'm black, I'm white, I'm like, okay, so how does that serve them? When I know clearly you're not black or white, especially when I understand what that language is for. Now, some people would say, I don't value a black and white magic. So then how did language come to be? Who gave us the technology of Wi-Fi? And why is everything in nature more curvature and everything that men create more angles? And one's in harmony, chi, and the other one isn't. Again, people aren't really willing to go into the feminine energy. You have to be able to become teachable. The masculine energy is the programmable energy. No offense to that, but that's its purpose. It's more for action. But most of our energy doesn't come from the action part. Knowledge is a good start. It's just beyond belief systems. But where's the wisdom of life, the tree of life, wisdom and understanding? You know, you need to learn to understand oneself. Forget about others. That's wasted energy. I'm just sharing out loud like the fool that I am. But what other people do with that information, that's for them to challenge. To challenge me, I'm like, okay, do you know where my thoughts are? Do you pick it up from my senses? Well, no. So then what are you arguing with? Who are you debating with? At that point, that's children having conversations with each other, which is fine, as long as the people that are hearing is okay. They debated, we learned a new topic. But if we're just talking about outcomes, winning or losing, well then, hey, how about we play chess, but let's put a gun on the table and we'll decipher. If you win, you get a bullet in the back of the head. If you lose, you get a bullet in the back of the head. Would you literally want to play the game now without knowing that we shouldn't be concerned about outcomes? The word gives it away, outcome. Be the observer of those things. Don't always get caught up in the experience, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. It's fun to dance, sing, and play sports. But eventually you're going to have to come to the realization you're in a meat suit. It's mortal. Eventually it's going to have an expiry date on it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. My brother T. Riggles, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh yeah, salute. You have anything you want to interject with?
No, I'm listening to all the knowledge being dropped, man. This is a good build, great topic today, Key.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. I appreciate everybody who joined the panel. It's always good to hear, our different, perspectives, our different uh focus points on the subject matters at hand, because there's always somebody listening who's looking at things from the eyes that you're looking out of. It's always people who are standing in the same perception point as each individual. So, we doing more than what we actually know just by expressing ourselves on the panel. I appreciate y'all. Salutes to everybody in the chat. Brother Leonard Robinson, salute. Sister Katrina, salute. FS Dratio, salute. My brother Awakening Mind, salute. Sanctuary Seeker, salute. Uh, Big Dog Philly OG, salute. My brother Big Dog Philly OG, the Virgo, salute. Awakening Minds, Wisdom Funk. My brother Bronze, Flat Power God, man, salute to all y'all, man. Much love and respect.
Well, my brother Key, I have to go now, brother. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, brothers. This how men supposed to talk. You may disagree, but you don't get disrespectful. You just disagree respectfully. That's all. We're men, we're brothers still, despite all that. Despite everything, we're brothers, and that's how brothers are supposed to speak to each other and talk to each other. But I want to thank you for allowing me up, brother.
Salute. Salute. Much love and respect, good brother. And I agree with you. Sparks be flying when the steel sharpening the steel, but those knives be able to cut through what they need to cut through when it's time for them to go to work. Salute to
Yes, sir.
everybody.
And you still can't sharpen steel or let steel come together. Still got to come with steel. Got to come together with steel in order to sharpen it. So, I welcome that. Salute to you, brothers. And, I'm probably going to do something about 8 o'clock, 8:30. And you're all invited. Just come through.
Yes, sir.
Man, it was
Yes,
good
sir.
talking to you, bro, man. It was good talking to you.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna probably end this one soon, but we ain't gotta rush out. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to close out, speak our mind or whatever. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. Much love and respect. And we may come back after Brother Nasir. So salutes.
Salute to all the brothers and sisters in the chat also. Peace and power.
Peace and power, good brother. Well, yeah, I allow everybody a chance to get a final thoughts and close out. We will try to come back a little bit later. I wanted to get this stream out of the way early today because we've been doing a lot of late night streams. I kind of took the opportunity to do a stream today. I'm usually working throughout the day, and we'll try to get some more daytime streams. I appreciate being able to connect with everybody. I know it's the weekend, so I hope everybody, enjoying their weekend and resting, taking their proper rest. And I appreciate y'all for being here. Salute.
Man, I'm glad I caught y'all today. And yeah, I'll be checking up on you periodically, man, on some of your live streams. And
Most definitely.
and I get it, everybody perception is different. And we all are evolving in our perspective places, you know, and I get it. And my thing is I love people so much. And I figure like I put things in practice and I want to share with people what elevates me and motivates me to inspire to be the best I can be on this planet. And that was one of the things that I needed was to change my perception. And it's been a journey to experience it, you know, for me personally. And but I know from what I know that other people have experienced it spiritually with me. Like T. Rivers said, there's so many people waking up and so many people because we're in the age of Aquarius and so many people getting good information from brothers like yourself. And I appreciate you. You keep up doing the good work and keep having these bills, man, so we can walk in the light, you know, and continue to get bits and pieces from each other so we can put our puzzles together. You get me? So I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you too, good brother. This was a awesome build today. And I like how all the minds was clicking, the information was flowing, man. You know, we definitely got to have more builds like this. We definitely got to be able to empty our tanks of, you know, all the disposable knowledge, reload with the proper ways to take steps toward walking in the light amongst each other. And we also have to become compatible uh, with nature, or if you want to say God or the creator or the great spirit or the ether, all those things, you know, we're just having different perception points, but we all seeing the same things. You know what I mean? It's just the different ways we perceive it. So we just gotta be more compatible with a natural state of living once we can uh, detach, reprogram, then reattach, start focusing on being compatible with nature. And that may take us out of this technological age. We may have to detach from a lot of this. Well, we will have to detach from a lot of this technology. A lot of this technology is the reason that we're here today. But the thing is to use the technology and not let the technology use you. And I'll fall back. Brother T. Wriggles and Brother Wisdom, did you guys want to close out?
Yeah, man, and it's a great build, great topic. Hey, thanks for everyone shooting by. The Virgo, thank you for sharing your wisdom thought. Thank you, brother. And most importantly, thank you, Key, for giving me an opportunity to speak, man. Great build, great topic. It's a classic.
I appreciate all of y'all for sure, man. Um I'm gonna come back tonight. Um yeah, I'm gonna come back tonight. I was gonna wait till Monday, but I'm gonna come back tonight with a fire bill. We didn't lose our land, we lost our minds. So make sure y'all tap in a little bit later for that. And my brother Wisdom, if you want to close out, you can. And if not, man, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Salutes to everybody. Sister Diva, I see you. I see you, sis. I hate to end right now. I just got a couple of things to do, but we will be back real shortly. Salutes to everybody. I appreciate everybody who supported the stream. Once again, shout out to my brother, Awaken Their Minds. Thank you so much for your uh, donation, contribution to the channel. It's very much appreciated. Thank you to everybody who liked the stream, shared the stream, everybody who, um, you know, blessed the panel with their words of wisdom, everybody who typed in the chat, everything, man. Salutes to everybody. Much love and respect. Hey, till next time, man. Y'all know what it is. Peace and power.